here at Rena-Marie Villano's house. I'm pretty excited, and I think you guys are going to be interested in the kind of work that Rena-Marie specializes in. Let's go.
Hello.
Hello, little puppy.
Hi.
Good to
Oh my
see
goodness.
you.
Good to see you too.
Thanks for having me.
Hi. Come on in.
All right.
You met Mona? That's Mona Lisa. Come on in. Come
All
see my
right.
studio.
Come on, baby. Come on, Mona Lisa.
Come on in.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Yeah. I'm Rena-Marie Villano, and this is my take. What niche in voiceover is my forte? Radio imaging, for sure, has been probably the majority of my body of work over the years. WAAF, the only station that really rocks. Or WAAF, the only station that really rocks. Like, I'll give them that, and I'll throw up the horn sometimes if I'm in the booth and I'm like, WAAF, the only station that really rocks. Like, just stuff so I kind of play with it, and I give them conversational. WAAF, the only station that really rocks. Just kind of try to play around with it. But Boston, she's getting frisky now. She's kind of, Mona, you got to be quiet, baby. Okay.
Okay, Rena-Marie, so we're going to talk about who is the most influential person in your life?
When I was young, I was ill. I had really intense respiratory problems and allergies, and when I was a little girl, the doctors told my mom that I would never be able to function in a normal classroom. I would never be able to run and play with other kids. They said I was minimally brain damaged, not kidding. And they had me on a bunch of different medications like Ritalin, and I had an inhaler for asthma and all that stuff. And my mother was not comfortable with anything that they were saying, so she began studying natural medicine. And she became certified as an herbalist, and this is as she's raising me and my two brothers, certified as an herbalist, and then she got her master's in the study of herbology over the years, and then she went for her doctorate in the health science of botanical medicine and ended up learning about homeopathy. And my mother has now been a classical homeopath for 35 years or something. And in all of that, not only did she turn my whole situation around, my whole health situation. I mean, I was off all of those medications within 9 months. She started working on me just with natural medicine. And then I had a very normal childhood. I mean, I had trouble with the school system. I didn't function well in classrooms, and until they were willing to test me and put me in like the gifted program or whatever when I was in 7th grade. Those years leading up to 7th grade were very tough. I was super ostracized in school, and my mother was always my greatest defender and protector. And so I really learned a lot about resilience from her, a love of knowledge. I get that from her because she was always searching for knowledge and information. And also because of just kind of what she does with her homeopathy practice, she's always looking for the bigger picture. She's always sort of forcing me to see what's not immediately visible. She's really, really good at helping me have perspective. So my mom, hands down. Mom, I love you, thank you. So yeah, my mom for sure.
Oh, that's terrific.
Yeah. I'm Rena-Marie Villano, and you may know me from Mad Dog Sports Radio on Sirius XM 82. You may know me from WAAF Boston, Alt 98.7 Los Angeles, 95.7 The Jet in Seattle, WMMS in Cleveland, WDTW in Detroit, Star 94.1 San Diego. Let's see, promo. You may know me from the Game Awards, which I live announced this year and last year. Promo-wise, you may know me from the Food Network. You may know me from DIY or HGTV. Epic, I did promos for Yard Crashers. I did promos for different promotional things like Dad's Day for Father's Day. Attic Gold. Attic Gold is a show on DIY. Let's see, what else? On Epic, I did some promos for the show Berlin Station. Food Network, I just did a session with them the other day, and it was fun. It was Fantasy Kitchen. It was for a little interstitial piece they're doing for Fantasy Kitchen, and I had to be like an Olympic judge, so that was fun. That was the other day. What else? What might people not know about me? I've always been really nomadic, and I've lived in, I lived in Jackson Hole for a long time. I lived in Montana for a long time. I'm really good at chopping wood and making fires and living rough if necessary. I'm not afraid of any of that. I've traveled all over the country by myself, and I was kind of when I first started getting real serious about voiceover. A few years into that, I worked with Celia Siegel. You know Celia.
I know Celia.
And one of her first marketing campaigns for me, we can talk about this in the interview, was She Sounds Like the Open Road. And I mean, on some level, that's a huge part of who I am. I have that kind of wild character, and I'm comfortable in that space. I'm comfortable being, in the crazy elements, and I used to snowboard in Jackson Hole, climbing crazy mountains. I mean, all that makes up who I am. When I was in my early 20s, I lived in Jackson Hole, and I had a little dog named Lupa, who I intended to spay. It was 3 days from having her spayed, and I let her out of the house ahead of me into our little, the parking lot where my apartment led out to. It was winter, there was nobody out there. I came out moments later and she was gone. Okay, long story short, I looked for her all day. When I finally found her, she was coupled with a giant Samoyed / Chow named Bo, who was the gigolo of town, and he was in my dog. So we ended up having puppies, and I found homes for, there were 6 puppies. I found homes for all the girls, placed them with all my friends and whatnot, but there were these 2 boy puppies, and I wanted to keep one, but I couldn't make up my mind, and so finally I said, you know what, screw it, I'm going to keep them both. And hey, Mom, hey, I need you to lie down for me and be quiet. So I ended up keeping these 2 boy dogs who ended up becoming rather large, and Lupa went and lived with my ex at the time. And as time progressed, I was having trouble finding a place to live because nobody wanted to rent to somebody with 2 big dogs, which I understood. But I got real tired of that, and I said, you know what, screw it. I bought a truck, I built a bed and a little place where I could sleep, and I put all my stuff in crates, and I moved into my truck, and I lived in the back of my truck with my 2 dogs for like an entire summer. I'm due for a road trip. I'm due to get out. In fact, I'm probably going to go to Jackson Hole this summer because you see those 2 little boxes behind you?
Yes.
Those are my boys. Those are my dogs.
Aw.
And then I need to bring them up there and spread their ashes.
It's At the Movies with Christopher Mad Dog Russo. No one can break down a movie like the doggy. He's articulate, descriptive, and concise. And then the second take I give them is, no one critiques a movie like Mad Dog. The Mad Dog is always topical, always on the cutting edge of pop culture. No one does Valentine's Day like the Mad Dog.
So,
All right, Rena-Marie, here's this last question.
okay.
What niche in voiceover do you consider your forte?
What niche in voiceover is my forte? Probably radio imaging. Probably that's certainly what I do the most of. Promo, also. I love promo. And I love narration. And I hope that my niche will start to be more in the vein of live announce, because I love live announce. And I've been wanting to move into live announce for a while. And I've been, the past couple of years I've been doing more of that. And that is very natural for me because I come from a live radio background. I love that live element. So that I'm exceedingly comfortable in that element. When shit's crazy and you don't know what's going to happen and it's live and it's like that's where I'm happy.